What's up, everyone? We are live at 5. Hey, Beth, it's Friday. Is it?
Finally.
Friday, April 3rd. I'm Paul Winchard.
I'm Beth Stevens.
We're joined, as always, by Caitlin Moynihan. How you doing?
Hello. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. It's exciting. And so we are ending the week with a really big start. There's a lot of fans waiting for this one. Who's here today, Beth?
Well, Alex Brightman of Beetlejuice is here. And just remember, he was the 2019 Broadway.com Star of the Year.
Of course he was.
That's right.
Who else?
Who else?
He's fantastic. We love him. We can't wait to find out what he's been up to. And we will get to him. But first, let's talk about today's news.
We're once again starting today's news segment off on a sad note.
Yeah, we've got a lot of bummer news happening right now, but we're going to get through it and get to the good stuff. But we have to honor those that have passed. And Gerald Friedman, who is a prolific director and educator, passed away on March 17th of kidney failure. This is not a coronavirus-related death. He was 92. And he was the director of Hair. So he was the artistic director of the New York Shakespeare Festival, which was what the Joseph Papp Public Theater used to be. And he directed the off-Broadway production of Hair.
So he ran the public right before Joe Papp. Is that right?
I believe, I don't know. This is like a history lesson. I don't call us Oscar Eustace, tell us the history. But he was also the director. He worked with Jerome Robbins a lot. So he assisted him on Bells Are Ringing and West Side Story and Gypsy, some really important shows. Also did A Time for Singing, The Creation of the World, and very importantly, The Robber Bridegroom.
Yep.
And he did School for Scandal.
Important because of Patti LuPone, of course.
Everything with Patti LuPone attached to it is important to me. And he was an educator, and he worked in North Carolina, and he worked at Juilliard and other places. So very prolific guy, very talented, and we just had to mention that bad news.
Yeah, and the Ambassador Theatre Group has given us an update on when UK theatres are going to return and start performances again.
Right. So the update is not yet. So they originally announced that all of their theaters, which basically is the shows Come From Away, The Seagull, The Lion King, 9 to 5, Pretty Woman, that's the photo we just showed, Woman in Black, and Wicked. They were supposed to come back April 26th, and now they've extended it to May 31st. We actually haven't received official word yet about the Broadway League. We're kind of waiting to find out with that because we're sort of a couple weeks away from the original date for Broadway. But London has now, that's not every London show. I guess there's a little difference based on theater owners, right? So this big batch of London theater won't be back until the end of May.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we have even more updates, and we found out what's going to be happening with Off-Broadway Signature Theater as well.
Right, so that right there is a photo of Dominique Morisseau, and her production of Confederates has been postponed. It was originally announced to start on May 12th, as well as Anna Devere Smith. This is a revival of Anna Devere Smith's Twilight Los Angeles 1992, which I love. That was supposed to start on April 28th. So Signature has said they're still going to do these shows. They're going to do them in a later season. And of course they're honoring people who have playwrights that they've had residencies with. So they're doing a lot of shows by people who have had productions there before. So we will still get to see them, just not this season.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of Broadway stars are heading to the Bridge to Broadway.
The Bridge to Broadway, is that the George Washington Bridge? Is that the anyway, Bridge to Broadway is not that. It is a new online thing, right? Eric Liberman has created a new online initiative, and it's something like kind of like master classes and things. It's conversations and Q&As with Broadway luminaries that you can watch from home, and a percentage of the proceeds, this is the paid thing, that will benefit the Actors Fund. And mentors of the program include Stephanie J. Block, Donna Murphy, Laura Ostis, Michael Arden, and there will be sessions beginning April 6th with people like Judith Light, Alan Menken, Harvey Firestein, Joe Mantella, Vicki Clark, Chris Catelli, Joan Lader, who helps Patty LuPone with her voice. I like a Patty LuPone thread. I love a Patty LuPone thread on an episode. And there's a lot more coming. So check that out. Bridge to Broadway. You got time. You can also visit the Broadway.com YouTube channel and learn a lot of stuff in our 20 years worth of video.
There's a lot there, yes.
There's a lot of stuff there too, but Bridge to Broadway also sounds fantastic. I can't wait to check it out.
And this podcast is everything that I didn't know I needed.
Oh yes, you need it. You need it. Okay, first of all, it's a podcast. It's a podcast, Caitlin, because we're talking about John Mulaney and Nick Kroll, who of course had Oh Hello on Broadway, and now as their characters, Gil Faison, that was Nick, and George St. Geegland, that was John, and they are bringing their characters to a podcast. They have a special way of talking. They have special interests like tuna and locker rooms.
I do.
You know, two elderly gentlemen. And I think that this is also, they're trying to raise money to help, people in need at this time. So check that out. It's really funny and crazy, and as they are. Do you remember that show, Paul?
Of course. Do I remember that
Insane,
show?
Right?
How would I not remember that show? Caitlin, were you at Broadway.com yet when that show was on? I don't think you were.
No, I wasn't, but I did see it.
What was the first Broadway show you remember opening when you started at Broadway.com?
Oh gosh. It's all a blur. I started the week before the Tonys. It all happened.
That's all.
The Tonys.
But you know what I bet was running? School of Rock. I bet that was running because that ran a while. Today's guest has done a lot of great things. Hey, Beth, we're going to slide you out. And Caitlin, why don't you tell everyone about him?
Gladly. Yes, guys. We have Mr. Alex Brightman as our final guest of the week for Live at 5 Home Edition, as we're live on both Facebook and YouTube. You guys already know this, but Alex Brightman has been haunting Broadway as a titular character in Beetlejuice since the show's world premiere staging in 2018. It earned him his second Tony nomination, and as Beth said, he was named Broadway.com Star of the Year for 2019. He earned his first Tony nomination for starring in School of Rock. He's done a whole lot of stuff. He was in Wicked. I could name a lot of things right now. You guys can follow him on just Twitter. He doesn't have an Instagram. He brought it back for 3 days, and then but he doesn't have an Instagram. Follow him on Twitter at @abrightmonster. Leave all of your questions down in the comments below, and please welcome Alex and Paul.
Hey! What's with you and the selective social media?
What's with that?
Yeah, you just like to funnel in one place.
Yeah, it's the same. It's much more. It's an easy place to visit, and it's. I don't take a ton of compelling photographs. Is really the big. I realized after a while, I just I don't like this.
You're more text based than. Are you more left brain than right brain?
I must be. I think I'm just more. Yeah, I think I just was I remember a lot of times being on Instagram going, my eyes are blurring out. I'm not even looking at this.
Got it. I
did it a lot for when I was in shows, because a lot of the times they're ask in shows, they're hey, can you do this thing? And you're sure, and that's really fun. But outside of having homework assignments, when I didn't have anything to actually do, I was I don't take pictures to share them a lot of the time, except of my dog now.
Got it.
Yeah.
So how's life treating you? It's April. We made it to April.
It is? Oh my God, I just woke up. I went to sleep in February. What happened? We've been in Oklahoma for the show, The Place, for 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
We drove out here with our dog, and
your wife Jenny, right?
Yep, and we've been living here with my in-laws, and we are very thankful that we got out of the city when we did. I don't know how my nerves would necessarily handle all of that what's going on. So it's nice to have a place here that's a little more space, and certainly less frenzy is the word I would use going on here, and lots of space. You're 6 feet, you're 60 feet away from anybody here. So it's not really a huge social distancing problem. But I'm very happy, more specifically for my dog, who has tons of space to run around. And or we were talking about earlier before this, it was just he runs up to other dogs in the neighborhood and is have you heard the good news about the coronavirus? People are home forever. Yeah, and it's like the one nice, beautiful thing is that my dog gets his two parents, all the time, and more walks than any dog should ever get.
What's the hey Caitlin, take those odd doggy. Okay, somebody said odd doggy. What's your dog's name?
Kevin.
Okay, adorable. So you just basically, so you're at your in-laws, and then you said, hey, because I'm a big Broadway actor, I need to go into the living room and do this interview. Sorry, guys, like while they're making dinner or something. What?
No, I said I need to go into the guest bedroom. But what's so funny? So, speaking of that, and I know that you were joking, my favorite part about my in-laws is they kind of don't care. This is incredible. And good, because neither do I. But what's amazing is that I'm walking Kevin, and we're in this like neighborhood where you pass people across the street, you wave hello. Everybody waves hello here, by the way, which is not what I expect in New York. And so walking, and I look up, and it's 8 a.m, and I walk up the street, and I look up, and there's 3 15, 16, 17-year-old girls. One of them is wearing a Beetlejuice sweatshirt. And I look up, and they meet guys, and our show sweatshirt, and I look up and I go, hey, cool sweatshirt. And then all 3 of them had a freak out, which is so crazy because you forget where you are for a second. Because, in New York, I see Beetlejuice merchandise all over the place where I'm working. It was just so surreal to like be in Oklahoma, like rural Oklahoma, suburban Oklahoma, and see that, and then have them know the show. And so we chatted from across the street.
Amazing.
They asked for a picture, and I hope someone posted at some point, because it's them in the middle of the street and me on the sidewalk going like this, because we couldn't get too close, with me holding my dog. It's like it's a picture I know exists. I hope that one of them has a Twitter or an Instagram or something.
So so people look for that, please.
Please.
Did your in-laws get to witness this fan encounter?
No, because I made it up. No, no, I was just me. I typically wake up earlier than everybody, and I take Kevin on his first walk super early, which also was surprising, seeing other teenagers up that early. It's like this is the perfect time for teenagers to sleep in. Yeah.
So, do you miss the Beetlejuice, and do you miss that guy, your alter ego? It's been really great for you.
It's nice for my voice. This break has been very good for my vocal rest. I just turned a corner of really missing it. I sort of had a moment where I was like, all right, let's follow the rules. Because like I believe in this initiative of like staying inside, and the sooner we all can do that, the sooner things can be, loads can be lightened and restriction can be eased up, and we can get back to doing the thing we want to be doing. But I understand the idea that we have to do this first. So I went through that acceptance phase pretty easily. And now I'm kind of turning into that like weird stage of grief where I'm like, I guess it's like, which I don't know which one it is, but it's like bargaining or anger. Maybe it's anger. And I really, really, really miss doing the show a lot. But I really miss seeing, you really forget how many times you see the same people over and over again. And you take that for granted. So I really miss seeing the cast. I really miss seeing the people and going up to the dressing rooms and checking in before the show and seeing the stage management office and chit-chatting and having people to laugh with and hug. And like that's become like, difficult. I have people here that I can hug. So I can only imagine, and I completely can sympathize with somebody who's quarantining alone and wants a hug. Like that to me is my own personal hell.
Yeah.
So I feel you, and I'm sending hugs to all those people that can't have one.
Yeah, virtual hugs.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this series of illustrations. Tug Rice, one of our illustrators, has done this fun Quarantunes, and he just did one of what our Broadway characters up to. And he imagined that Beetlejuice is like doing yoga.
Oh, God. That's
is that true? Is that what Brightman is up to?
I got to be honest. Now that I've seen that, I need to do more of that, because it just reminded me how out of shape I'm slowly becoming. Slowly. We live a block, and I mean this, a 5-minute, maybe less drive from a Sonic. And I can't get enough of the vanilla Coke situation that they have there. And people who I don't know Sonic, because I'm not from a place that really has Sonic. People who like Sonic, did you guys know that they have like the most incredible iced coffee? Because I didn't.
I didn't know that.
It tastes like melted coffee ice cream, so I don't think it's really coffee. it's like ridiculously amazing, and I need to be more. My now new aspiration is to be more like that cartoon. I need to do more. I've downloaded the apps. Stop showing it to me. I feel terrible. I have the apps. I'm ready to go. I've been jogging here and there, but I have not jogged enough to counterbalance the avalanche of vanilla Coke that I've been having on this thing. The beauty about Sonic is they've been social distancing since before anybody, because you don't go into a Sonic. They come to you, they pass you the goods. It's like a hostage situation.
Yeah. That's just like I told Kristen Chenoweth, she was ahead of the curve because she's been wearing gloves for years, whatever people. And Sonic's been ahead of the curve with that setup.
Yeah, they're just like, here, take it. And it's great. It's beautiful. We are, joking aside, we are like, we mostly are eating in. It's just that when that you have to go, you go to the place and you be as careful as possible. We've loaded up all of the vehicles with sanitizer, and everybody's been very good about washing their hands here.
Yeah.
So everyone's healthy here. We're very happy about that.
Good. We'll keep it that way. And
that's our goal.
Make sure everyone out there knows about what's happening in New York, because it's kind of crazy up different parts of the country here.
Yeah. Anything I do now that's an interview or whatever, I am like, if anybody's a fan of mine and wants to listen to me and has any sort of care about what I say, if it means anything to you, please don't be a dummy. Like, stay inside and don't think this is a joke. And if you feel like it's a joke, then I wouldn't want to be friends with you if that's what kind of person you are. So if you have any sort of like feelings towards me that are positive, just stay inside for my sake, if not for yours.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for everyone.
So you're a very creative guy, and I know you always have kind of like a lot of things you're working on at all times. And are you, and a lot of people are binging things and spending time. So have you started writing the Tiger King musical yet? Yeah.
I feel like that's like everybody. I've been following Andrew Lippa on Twitter, and he's killing me with those.
It's ridiculous how everyone is just so.
I love it. I'm into it. I don't see any wrongdoings in there being 12 musicals based on that. No, we unfortunately we watched it too fast. Now we should have really paced it out. I miss it.
Yeah, I feel like. Yeah, it's been so long ago.
Oh my God, I know. And so yeah, watch that for sure. I am writing. I actually, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing okay, is that because I have sort of this thing I could pivot to pretty quickly. Because I was already, during Beetlejuice, also on certain deadlines that either I gave myself or someone else gave me for certain writing projects that I'm working on. I'm working on a show with Drew Gasparini. I've been working on shows with him for years, and we're doing an adaptation of the movie and the novel. It's kind of a funny story by Ned Vizzini. And so we've been working on that like crazy, and finally really just had our first big workshop, which went incredibly well. And then the next big workshop is on the horizon whenever we're allowed to be in rooms together with it's like a much bigger announcement. So I'm excited to be able to announce that exclusively on Live at 5 when it's time.
Good.
But yeah, so that's going really well. I finished 2 drafts of plays that I'm writing, 2 very dark, very dramatic plays that go against all the things I do on stage as a comedian. And then some television stuff that I can't necessarily dive into, but it's, just to say it out loud, like TV is going to be, still doing stuff when it's allowed. And it's going to be good. I hope so, if they allow me to do what I want to do. Yeah. And then I will eventually be able to announce another acting thing that I'm doing. That I'm trying to. I don't know when I'll be able to announce it, but it's very fun and it's new. It's something I've never done before, so I'm very excited to be able to tell what that is. And so I'm good.
Trying to figure out if it's Shakespeare or drag. I just don't.
Yeah, it's both.
Okay, cool, awesome,
yeah,
great.
It's both.
Way to do Shakespeare. Got it.
Yeah, I really wanted to announce it myself, but there you go. No, but it's that's what's keeping my heart and soul points, to quote Mark Duplass. It's keeping my soul points up while slowly feeling stir crazy. So it's giving me lots of reasons to sort of create. And I've been trying to teach classes with certain groups and Broadway Artist Alliance and other things in Broadway Plus, and I keep reminding these students that you're an actor, sure, but like now is the time to see what else you are. Like it's a great time to see if there's anything else, because you have the time to figure it out. It's actually weirdly a luxury.
Yeah.
If you can move your mind that way.
Yeah, because the pressure of what other people are doing is all gone temporarily,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You know, people are starting to create things on their own, but that sort of the pack mentality of keeping up with everyone.
Yeah, and I think, on the flip side of that, which I also agree with, is that if you feel like, oh, I have to create because others are creating, that's not the reason to create. If you're seeing all these people doing these, the amazing things like, Stephanie J. Block, the wash your hands, singing, all those things that they're taking advantage for good, for charity and all those kind of things, but making kind of their thing. If you don't have your thing, don't feel pressure to have your thing.
Right.
You can make your thing privately. You can do, just because you're doing a thing doesn't mean everyone needs to see it. You can always be creative silently. So I think, I know I've talked to a couple people who are like, I just feel like I'm not doing anything. I'm like, you don't have to.
Right.
The world is not expecting you to do anything right now. We are expecting to actually do nothing right now. So the more you do, it's just a bonus.
Yeah. Be with yourself, get comfortable with yourself. I mean, it's great. There's a lot of great stuff that can come out of these.
Can I give one piece of advice to people that are quarantining with others, or maybe even if they want to Zoom with others? Well, if you have a significant other or close friends or whatever, or why, it's a really fun thing to watch your parents do. If you have it, you can Google like first date icebreaker questions, like things like that are like, where do you see yourself in 3 years, or where's a place you never want to visit, and watch your parents like go on ask themselves these questions like they're on a first date. It's brilliant. My wife and I did it on our anniversary. It was a blast.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
great idea. I'm gonna bring Caitlin in because I know the Beetlejuice fans are here. I know they're here.
They're here.
Oh, also, by the way, thanks again for the Broadway.com Star of the Year thing. I get so much pleasure out of walking into the Winter Garden when we were there and just sort of saying like, make way for the Star of the Year. It got really old really quickly to everybody but me.
I still have the crown at my desk at work.
But when it turned January 1st, they were like, not anymore. And I was like, no, the reigning champ. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're in until December 2020.
You have given me permission to be as the most annoying human being in the cast of Beetlejuice.
I love it.
Good, it's your right. It's your right.
Thank you.
Okay. So the first question we're going to do is Hannah Max from YouTube wants to know, what is your favorite song to perform in Beetlejuice / what do you miss singing the most from the show?
That's a great question. It changes all the time, but I have to say the one I miss the most is the opening number. It's just, in my opinion, sincerely, one of the best opening numbers to come along in a long time. Not because it's exciting, it is. Not because it tells you exactly what the show is, it is. But it's because it's so theatrical, like it can't be done in any other medium. It is such a theater song. And so I enjoy watching the audience react to the opening number, and I love singing it. And I think, my favorite thing to sing in the show is the Invisible reprise when I'm on the roof, and it's this sort of sappy, sad version of the Lydia song that I just sort of become like a bit like a pop star for a moment. But yeah, I miss those two moments the most.
Cool.
Definitely. All right. So Martha says, going off of that quarantine, what do you think Beetlejuice would be doing during this quarantine time?
I'm not making fun of the person asking this question. I'm not. It's just it's always a funny thing to get like hypothetical. It's always it's like, what would Beetlejuice's favorite? It's like, I'm not that much of a method actor. I think that Beetlejuice, to be honest, I think he'd be doing yoga in front of a television in cartoon form. From what I've seen, that's what I think he'd be doing. No, I don't know. He'd be probably, rationing. He'd probably be finding alternate things to use as toilet paper. I've said this now like 3 times on like 3 different broadcasts, but anything is toilet paper if you're brave enough.
I mean, that's the headline. So this person's name is definitely not really Ash Ketchum, but Ash Ketchum on YouTube wants to know, if you could be any other character in Beetlejuice, who would you be? Or would you be different, like a stagehand or do lighting? What would you want to do?
I'm glad they tagged it with not just cast members, because my dream would be to do the head props track in the show. Austin Rodriguez, who was the head props guy, he's involved. He does all the puppetry of the big puppets, the big sandworms. He does the in the beginning. He tosses me the ukuleles. He puts the big hand up with the microphone. He does all the big weird prop stuff, and there's artistry to that. And I think that people forget that like the people that work backstage are also artists. They're not just guys that push buttons at all. None of them. They all have a passion for what they do. And so Austin was like that incarnate. He's now working at Company, where he had to make all the different birthday cakes. That's all his work. And so I haven't gotten to see it, and I can't wait to see it when it's finally back. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would do head props.
Did you ever do any like backstage work when you were like in high school or when you were starting out?
I did my freshman year of NYU. We had to do a bit of crew work, which I thought was cool because I think it gives people an appreciation for like, what it taught me was that, the people on stage are actually work the least hard. Everybody else is working like crazily so much harder. So it gives you an appreciation. So you don't just walk by them and think that, oh, I'm in the show. It's like, no, you wouldn't be in the show if there was no light on you, homie. So I did crew. I did crew for the NYU production in 2000. I don't know, it doesn't matter. 5, 6 of Starmites.
Oh, Starmites.
Yeah.
Wow.
Starmites.
There's some good costumes and props and design.
Oh yeah, I had to remember I was laying on my back at one point and making something fly. It was great and grueling. I never want to do it again, which is why I have so much respect for the people that do.
Amazing.
Love it. Elizabeth Greenberg wants to know, other than Sonic, what has been your favorite quarantine food?
Mexican food. I started to cook. I haven't had a chance to cook because I've been in the show. And now at 6 to 7 o'clock, I can actually start preparing food. And so we've been getting ingredients for different meals. And I've started cooking way more, like every other day. I started cooking dinner for me and my mother and father-in-law and my wife, and sometimes my dog. Just kidding. But we've been making tons of Mexican food. So I've been making pico de gallo and guacamole from scratch a lot. Wow. I like it. It zens me out. It like really chills me out to cook. So we've been doing that. We did taco salad. I just made nachos for lunch today. So yeah, Mexican food's kind of my forte when it comes to cooking. But
I'm into that.
Yeah. Oh man, it's the best. And when it's fresh, it's so good. You forget like sometimes in New York, like, oh, I don't think these people know how to cook Mexican food.
I love it. So a lot of people are wondering if you are still like rehearsing, running through your lines, practicing any choreography during this time.
I'm not practicing any choreography, though I'm sure I should be. Because you know what that looks like? That looks like David Byrne. Did you do that in the show in American Joe? This
totally rehearsing for that.
I was like, who does that look like? I have been every once in a while trying out the Beetlejuice voice because I know for a fact if I don't do it consistently and a lot, it does kind of go away, and it takes a lot of work to get it back without it hurting. So I've been so used to this voice for the last 2 weeks that people forget that I sound like this a lot of the time. Because people are used to just hearing this now in every single clip. But I do sound like this normally. And so I've been having to sort of like weirdly like on walks because there's no one around, be like, good boy, Kevin. All right, good boy. And doing that. And I haven't sung really in a while. So it's going to be like, I really will need a heads up when we're coming back because I'll need to like, the only thing I've been doing is sort of keeping stamina up, jogging a little bit. And I'm going to start doing more of a diligent sort of workout thing because I think that would kill me if we came back. I don't know if I'd have the same stamina as I did when we were running it.
Mm-hmm. Did you give the voice to the fangirls on the dog walk? I guess not. No,
I didn't. That to me feels like when your like aunt at a party goes like, sing that song from that show that you're in. You're like, no. I'm much more comfortable doing it in front of 2,000 people that have paid.
I love that.
I love it. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. Okay, so I think we have time for one last question.
One last question.
Okay, so this girl named Caitlin, not me. She says, do you have a favorite series / movie to watch during quarantine? Hugs from Belgium.
Oh,
hugs right back to Belgium from Oklahoma. Favorite series. I mean, if I'm at home and I know I'm going to be at home, I will knock through Seinfeld from the beginning whenever I got the time. I've also been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm over and over again, all that kind of stuff. But I think movies, this is the renaissance for my wife. We love watching movies. We never have time. So now we have plenty of time. So we just watched every Oscar movie from last year, and we just watched 1917, which I loved. We watched. Does anyone remember Molly's Game? It was like 2 years ago. Jessica Chastain.
I never saw it.
It's great.
Okay.
It's Aaron Sorkin, and it's like a sleeper Aaron Sorkin, cool, interesting like take. It feels. I mean, it's very much runs the same way as The Social Network. A very like, here's who this person was. Really, we loved it. We watched it last night. I would recommend that highly. Great cast, great writing, super compelling.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I've been watching. We're gonna watch some documentary about like a dirty chemist that everyone's talking about, like secret something of a something something.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Everything's called that.
Wait, here's my question though. If you watched all of last year's Best Picture, which one? What do you think deserved to win Best Picture?
Parasite.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think director Bong is gonna always be that good. Snowpiercer is one of my favorite movies. Mm-hmm. So I was sort of primed already to like his aesthetic and style and his take on kind of the world. So I loved Parasite. Is
there a stage adaptation of Parasite possible?
I hope not in the US. I hope if they're going to do it right, it's going to be where it's supposed to be.
Totally. Yeah.
I don't like when we just take things and make them worse.
Yeah. Now, the one thing we have to say is that obviously you're in Oklahoma. You're not performing in Beetlejuice. Broadway is temporarily shut down. Mm-hmm. Beetlejuice is supposed to end in early June, right? What is it? Right. So does this feel weird? Do you feel like you're getting like you would have been having like a slow sort of, and there's a lot of rumors. There might be a future Beetlejuice. We don't really know what's happening, but nothing's really been announced.
Right.
So
nobody knows anything.
Does it feel even like more in limbo to you now to be sort of like, when is it? When are we getting back? And when is the final? How many time do we have? And
I mean, it feels. Andrew Kober, friend of the show, and friend of my life show. He said it best. I think he goes, I feel like I don't not feel like an actor right this moment. I just feel like a person. Like your identity kind of goes with what you do. And so he goes like, I feel like everything's just on pause.
Yeah.
Like we're doing all this stuff, but like life outside is on pause.
Yeah.
So when we get back, I hope it feels the same. I don't know, as time ticks by, we're in April now, and as time ticks by, we get closer to June. And it doesn't just mean if we come back in May, whatever, but it doesn't mean we just go right back on. We have to re-rehearse, retech. So the reality of the situation is exactly what you think it is. It's going to be very difficult to see us getting back near June. So we'll see. I don't know how that all works. I know that if they want to do it at another theater, they will. It would be awesome to reopen the show at another theater and have like this resurgence of the show. Yeah. But until then, like, I think speak for everybody in our show that like we'd much prefer to be doing this right now than to try and be pushing to get there right now. Mm-hmm. Because we don't want to force 1,500 people crammed into a theater if we're not 100% sure it's not going to make things worse. So we are all about this.
Right. Cool. Well, we're glad that you're doing well. I'm bringing back the ladies. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
What are you making tonight? Burritos, enchilada?
I just got a text message from my wife. We're actually going to do like a takeaway thing because we don't have enough ingredients. So there's some restaurants that are doing curbside pickup stuff. So I don't know what it is, but it's something called New News Cafe.
Oh.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
Shout out to New News Cafe in Oklahoma.
Well, enjoy and keep in touch and stay healthy and keep your distance.
I will indeed. Love you guys. Be well, and I'll see you guys soon.
Awesome. We'll see you soon. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend. Hey, Caitlin, why don't you take us?
Gladly. Thank you guys so much for watching Live at 5 Home Edition. This week, you guys can follow along where we get your podcast by searching for #Live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. Have a great weekend. Stay inside, stay away from each other, and be sure to tune in on Monday when we talk to Tam Mutu of Moulin Rouge.